Life is not just about what you know, it's about who you grow with. Every relationship we build, every person we meet, and every connection we nurture adds value to our life in ways we often fail to notice. You see, success is rarely a solo journey. It's a collective effort of people who inspire us, guide us, and sometimes even challenge us to be better. Think of it like this. If you are a seed, your network is the soil. No matter how strong or capable a seed is, it cannot grow in barren land. The quality of the soil determines the growth of the seed. Similarly, the quality of your relationships determines the growth of your life. We live in a time where people chase wealth, fame, and titles, but they forget that real wealth lies in meaningful connections. A kind friend, a supportive mentor, or even a stranger with good intentions can open doors that money or degrees never could. Your network is not about how many contacts you have on your phone, but how many hearts you've touched with your sincerity, trust, and kindness. True networking is not manipulation, it's contribution. It's not about using people, it's about uplifting them. When you add value to someone's life, life adds value to yours. When you become a bridge for others, others will become bridges for you when you need to cross difficult waters. Remember, relationships are like plants. They need time, care, and consistency. You cannot water them once and expect them to grow forever. Small acts of gratitude, genuine conversations, and being there for others in their low moments, these are the fertilizers that make relationships flourish. And here's the beauty: your network doesn't just determine your success, it shapes your character. When you surround yourself with positive, honest, and purposeful people, you automatically elevate your mindset and your life. Energy is contagious, so choose your circle wisely. In the end, it's not the money in your bank, but the people in your life who will make you feel truly rich. So invest, not just in stocks, skills, or savings, but in people. Because one genuine connection can change your destiny. In life, we often think of assets as the things we own. Money in the bank, a car, a house, maybe even stocks or savings. But if we truly look deeper, the greatest assets we ever acquire are not things, but people. Relationships are living, breathing investments that appreciate over time when cared for and depreciate when ignored. A strong, meaningful connection can open doors that no qualification, no resume, and no amount of money can unlock. Think about it. When you are in trouble, who really helps you out? Is it your wealth, your position, or your connections? More often than not, it's people. The ones who trust you, respect you, and genuinely wish to see you succeed. These are your real assets. They are the invisible support system that makes your visible success possible. Life is not a solo performance. It's an orchestra. And each person in your life plays a note that contributes to your melody. Some offer guidance when you're lost, some give comfort when you're broken, and others challenge you to rise higher when you become complacent. Each of them adds a layer of richness to your experience. And when you see life from that perspective, you begin to realize that building relationships is not a side task. It's one of the most important parts of living meaningfully. But just like any valuable investment, relationships require effort. You can't just meet someone once, expect miracles, and then vanish. Real connections grow through time, trust, and truth. When you listen with empathy, help without expectation, and appreciate without agenda, you invest emotional capital that yields lifelong returns. You might not see the results immediately, but one day, those bonds will become your safety net in ways you never imagined. Relationships also teach you humility. They remind you that no matter how intelligent or talented you are, you can't know everything, and you can't do everything alone. You need mentors to guide you, peers to support you, and friends to remind you who you are when success starts to blind you. When you start viewing people not as competitors, but as collaborators, your life shifts from scarcity to abundance. And the best part, when you treat relationships as assets, you naturally become richer. Not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually. Because in giving value to others, you multiply value within yourself. You learn to appreciate diversity, to celebrate others' victories, and to stand strong during their struggles. That's when relationships become not just a social advantage, but a soulful connection. At the end of the day, what truly counts is how many lives you've touched and how many hearts you've inspired. Titles fade, money flows, but relationships, when built with honesty and kindness, become timeless treasures. So, if you want to measure your true wealth, don't look at your bank balance. Look at the people who stand beside you, who believe in you, and who celebrate your presence. That's your real fortune. That's your true net worth. One of the most powerful truths in life is that we grow through the company we keep. You can't expect to soar like an eagle if you spend your time walking with pigeons. The people you surround yourself with shape your thoughts, influence your decisions, and ultimately determine the direction of your life. Your circle can either elevate you or exhaust you, build you or break you. That's why being intentional about who you associate with is not just a matter of preference. It's a matter of progress. When you spend time with people who challenge you to think bigger, who question your comfort, and who encourage you to aim higher, you naturally begin to stretch beyond your limits. Growth doesn't happen in isolation, it happens in association. Just as a plant grows better when surrounded by healthy vegetation, your potential blossoms when you're surrounded by positive and ambitious individuals. Their mindset rubs off on you, their habits inspire you, and their discipline silently trains you. Think about how iron sharpens iron. In the same way, human beings sharpen each other through conversation, collaboration, and correction. You may have talent, but without the right company, that talent remains hidden, underdeveloped, and unappreciated. A wise companion will not flatter your ego, but will fuel your evolution. They'll tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. That's how growth truly happens, through honest reflection and meaningful association. But sometimes, growth also means outgrowing people. There are relationships that were good for who you were, but not for who you're becoming. As you evolve, your circle must evolve with you. If you stay surrounded by negativity, gossip, or complacency, you'll find yourself trapped in the same patterns. It takes courage to step away from the familiar and walk toward the purposeful. You don't have to cut people off with bitterness. You just need to rise high enough where negativity can't reach you. The right associations don't just help you achieve more, they help you become more. They challenge your excuses, celebrate your growth, and remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. They don't compete, they complete. They don't envy your success, they elevate your vision. You'll notice that when you are among people who are passionate and purposeful, their energy awakens something inside you. Suddenly, your dreams don't feel impossible. They feel inevitable. And let's not forget, the company you keep doesn't just reflect your character, it refines it. If you walk with people of integrity, kindness, and wisdom, you will naturally begin to mirror those qualities. Association silently shapes attitude. That's why it's essential to spend time with those who make you feel more capable, more inspired, and more alive. Every successful person you admire today had someone who believed in them before they believed in themselves. That belief came through association. So, build your network with people who bring value to your vision and who remind you that mediocrity is not your home. Because when you surround yourself with those who are growing, you'll find it impossible to remain the same. Growth through association is not just a principle. It's a pathway to purpose. In the world we live in today, people are obsessed with numbers, followers, likes, contacts, connections. But real value doesn't come from how many people you know. It comes from how deeply you connect with them. True networking is not about collecting business cards or building a massive contact list. It's about building meaningful bonds rooted in trust, understanding, and mutual respect. 1,000 shallow connections cannot replace one genuine relationship that truly believes in you. We often mistake popularity for connection, but popularity is loud, authenticity is quiet. Having a large network might look impressive from the outside, but if those relationships lack depth, they won't stand when life tests you. It's easy to be surrounded by people when things are good, but when the storm comes, only the genuine ones remain. Those are the ones who don't see you as a transaction, but as a human being. That's why it's always better to have a few solid connections than 100 fragile ones. Quality relationships take time to build because they are founded on honesty, empathy, and consistent effort. They don't happen overnight. They require conversations that go beyond surface level topics where you truly listen, understand, and care. These are the kind of connections that not only help you grow professionally, but nurture you emotionally. You don't have to impress them. They already see your worth. You don't have to pretend. They appreciate your authenticity. Think about your own life. In there, who are the people you can truly rely on? The ones you can call in the middle of the night, not just for celebration, but in crisis. Those few names that come to mind, that's your real network. You don't need a crowd, you need a circle. Because crowds watch you rise and fall, but circles lift you when you fall and celebrate when you rise. When we focus on quantity, relationships become transactional. We start giving with expectation and connecting with motives. But when we focus on quality, our approach changes. We give because we genuinely care, not because we expect something in return. Ironically, those are the relationships that end up bringing us the greatest rewards, emotionally, spiritually, and even materially. In professional life too, this principle holds true. A single mentor who truly believes in your potential can open more doors for you than 100 acquaintances who barely remember your name. A single recommendation from someone who respects your integrity can transform your career more than dozens of empty endorsements. It's not about being known by many, it's about being trusted by a few. The truth is, meaningful connections don't drain you, they fill you. They don't make you question your worth, they remind you of it. You walk away from every interaction feeling enriched, understood, and supported. These are the relationships that build you up quietly, while the world only notices your visible success later. So, invest your time where your heart feels at peace, not where your ego feels fed. Build fewer but deeper connections, because one strong bridge can take you further than 100 weak ones. In the end, it's not about how many people clap for you. It's about how many will stand beside you when the applause fades. That's the true power of quality over quantity. In a world that constantly teaches us to compete, it's easy to forget that real success is built through contribution. We're often told to get ahead, beat the others, or be the best, as if life were a race with only one winner. But the truth is, life isn't a competition, it's a collaboration. When we stop focusing on how much we can take and start focusing on how much we can give, everything changes. The richest people in spirit are not those who collect the most, but those who contribute the most. Contribution is not about money, it's about mindset. It's about asking, how can I add value to someone else's life? When you shift your focus from, what can I gain, to what can I give, you open doors that competition can never unlock. People naturally gravitate toward those who inspire, uplift, and support them. They remember kindness long after they forget achievements. A single act of genuine contribution can create ripples of goodwill that return to you in unexpected ways. Competition often makes us anxious, jealous, and insecure. We start comparing ourselves to others, measuring our worth by their success. But contribution brings peace and purpose. It allows you to celebrate others' victories because you're secure in your own journey. You don't need to dim someone else's light to make yours shine. When you help someone grow, your light only becomes brighter. That's the paradox. By giving, you gain more than you could ever take. Look around at the people who truly make a difference. They aren't the loudest or the most ambitious. They are the ones who serve quietly, selflessly, and sincerely. They lift others even when no one is watching. These are the people whose influence outlives their presence. Because when you contribute to someone's growth, a part of you lives on in their success story. That's a kind of wealth that can never be measured in numbers. Contribution also strengthens relationships. When people feel that your intentions are genuine, they trust you. Trust builds loyalty, and loyalty builds lasting connections. In business, leadership, or friendship, when you prioritize contribution over competition, you become magnetic. People want to associate with those who make them feel valued, not used. You don't need to chase opportunities. Opportunities start finding you. There's another dimension to this contribution is also about gratitude. When you realize how much you've been given, knowledge, experiences, support, you naturally feel inspired to give back. Every blessing becomes a responsibility to bless others. It's not about grand gestures. Even small acts, a kind word, a listening ear, a helpful hand, can transform someone's day or even their life. When we contribute, we create a cycle of abundance. What you give doesn't leave you, it expands you. You grow emotionally, spiritually, and even professionally. You begin to see the world not as a place of scarcity, but of shared purpose. The joy of contribution fills you in ways material success never can. At the end of the day, competition may bring you applause, but contribution brings you fulfillment. Competition ends when the race is over. Contribution lives on through the lives it touches. So instead of asking, how can I win? Start asking, how can I help? Because the truth is, the more you give, the richer your life becomes. And that's the kind of wealth that never fades. One of the most overlooked truths about success is that your environment has more influence over your life than almost anything else. We like to believe that personal effort alone determines our growth. But the reality is that the people, places, and energies we surround ourselves with play a silent yet powerful role in shaping who we become. You might have talent, ambition, and discipline, but if your environment is negative, toxic, or stagnant, your potential will struggle to flourish. Think of yourself as a plant. A seed may have all the nutrients within it to grow into a strong tree, but if it's planted in barren soil, deprived of sunlight, or surrounded by weeds, it will never reach its full height. Similarly, your growth in life depends on the soil you are planted in, the people you associate with, the ideas you consume, and the energy that permeates your surroundings. Choose the wrong soil, and even the best potential will be stunted. Choose the right one, and you can blossom beyond your imagination. Your environment is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and social. The words people speak around you, the attitudes they display, and the habits they embody are contagious. Surround yourself with cynicism, envy, or complacency, and those attitudes will slowly influence your thinking. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with positivity, ambition, and integrity will inspire you to rise to higher standards. Humans are social beings and the energy we absorb from those around us shapes our actions, our choices, and our worldview. This is why the people you spend the most time with are far more important than the goals you chase. If you spend hours with individuals who lack vision, who complain more than they act, or who dwell on obstacles rather than opportunities, you will unconsciously start adopting similar patterns. But if you invest your time with people who challenge you, motivate you, and reflect the qualities you aspire to develop, your growth accelerates. Your mindset begins to expand naturally, your ideas deepen, and your resilience strengthens. Environment also dictates your habits. If you are surrounded by individuals who read, reflect, and pursue constant improvement, you will likely adopt similar practices. If you are in a place where mediocrity is celebrated and effort is minimal, you may find yourself conforming to lower standards. Success is rarely an accident. It is the cumulative result of conscious choices and the influences that surround you daily. Sometimes, shaping your environment requires courage. It may mean distancing yourself from toxic relationships, leaving a stagnant workplace, or reevaluating the content you consume online and offline. Many people cling to familiarity even when it limits their potential, simply because change feels uncomfortable. But growth demands intentionality. To become the person you aspire to be, you must intentionally curate your environment, selecting influences that uplift, educate, and inspire you consistently. Ultimately, your environment does more than shape your success. It shapes your character. It teaches you how to respond to challenges, how to celebrate victories, and how to treat others. When you choose the right environment, you are not just investing in your achievements. You are investing in the person you are becoming. Surround yourself with wisdom, positivity, and purpose, and watch how your life transforms quietly but powerfully. Your environment is not a coincidence. It is a choice. And the more consciously you shape it, the closer you move toward becoming the best version of yourself. Just as a seed grows tall in fertile soil, you too can rise higher when you nurture yourself in the right environment. The people you meet, the places you enter, and the energy you allow into your life. These are the invisible architects of your destiny. One of the most powerful principles of life that often goes unnoticed is the value of consistency. We live in a world obsessed with instant results, overnight success, viral fame, quick wealth. But the truth is, sustainable growth rarely happens suddenly. Real progress in any area of life comes from small, steady, and consistent actions over time. Relationships are no different. Your network, your connections, And the trust you build are not formed in a day. They are cultivated through patience, reliability, and repeated effort. Consistency is the silent force behind every strong relationship. Imagine trying to build trust with someone by showing up once in a while, sometimes offering help, sometimes ignoring them. Trust is not a single act, it is a habit built by showing up consistently, demonstrating care, and honoring commitments. People remember those who are reliably present, not those who make a fleeting impression. Every small gesture, repeated over time, compounds into loyalty, admiration, and respect. Think about a friendship that has lasted years. It's not because there was one grand gesture at the beginning, but because both parties consistently invested time, effort, and attention into each other's lives. They listened when it mattered, supported each other during struggles, and celebrated each other's successes over and over again. The consistency of these actions, not their magnitude, is what strengthened the bond. The same principle applies to professional relationships, mentorships, and even casual connections. Consistency also builds credibility. People naturally gravitate toward individuals they can rely on. When your actions are consistent, your words gain weight. Your intentions become believable. This is what separates fleeting acquaintances from lifelong connections. Without consistency, relationships remain shallow. They lack depth, stability, and resilience. With it, they become enduring and impactful. Moreover, in the consistency in contributing to others' lives multiplies your influence exponentially. Helping someone once is admirable, but helping them repeatedly, over time, creates a deep sense of trust and loyalty. It shows that your care is genuine, not situational. This principle applies to guidance, mentorship, emotional support, or even simple acts of kindness. The key is to make your actions predictable, dependable, and reliable, so others know they can count on you no matter the circumstances. Consistency also strengthens your own character. It teaches discipline, patience, and perseverance. You learn to value process over instant gratification and progress over perfection. By showing up day after day, even when it feels mundane or challenging, you cultivate a reputation for integrity. People notice this subtle quality, even if it isn't flashy or immediate. It's the quiet force that earns respect, admiration, and trust. Finally, consistency fosters long-term results. In relationships, trust builds over time. In careers, expertise grows with repeated practice. In personal growth, habits are formed through daily commitment. One-time efforts are like sparks. They can light a fire briefly, but will soon fade. The consistent actions are like steady flames. They provide warmth, illumination, and endurance that can transform lives. So, when it comes to networking and building meaningful connections, remember this: showing up consistently matters more than showing up spectacularly once. Small, intentional, repeated actions create a foundation of trust, respect, and loyalty. In the grand tapestry of life, consistency weaves the threads that hold everything together. It is the invisible glue that transforms acquaintances into allies, contacts into collaborators, and moments into lifelong memories. One of the most powerful yet overlooked truths about human interaction is how contagious energy can be. Just as a yawn spreads across a room or laughter echoes effortlessly, positivity has a ripple effect that can transform not only your own life, but also the lives of everyone around you. When it comes to building a network and increasing your net worth, not just financially, but emotionally, professionally, and socially, the energy you bring to your relationships matters more than you realize. Positivity is magnetic, and it attracts people who resonate with your mindset, your values, and your vision. When you carry a positive attitude, people notice it. They feel it in the way you listen, in the way you speak, and in the way you respond to challenges. Positive energy is different from superficial cheerfulness. It's not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring difficulties. It's about approaching life with optimism, gratitude, and a solutions-focused mindset. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel lighter, more hopeful, and more capable. Your positivity becomes an invisible gift you give to those around you, and it often returns multiplied. Think about the last time you spent time with someone genuinely positive. How did you feel afterward? Inspired, motivated, or uplifted perhaps? That's because positivity spreads. It affects moods, perspectives, and behaviors. In contrast, negativity, cynicism, and constant complaints act like a contagion too, but they drain energy rather than enrich it. Surround yourself with positivity, and your network will become a thriving ecosystem of encouragement, growth, and collaboration. Surround yourself with pessimism, and even the most capable people may feel weighed down and limited. Positivity also plays a crucial role in problem solving and resilience. Life is full of setbacks, misunderstandings, and disappointments. A positive mindset doesn't eliminate challenges, but it allows you to face them with creativity and calmness rather than fear or frustration. People gravitate toward those who inspire confidence and hope, especially in difficult times. If your network feels that you uplift them when things are tough, they will naturally reciprocate when you need support. Positivity strengthens bonds, builds loyalty, and deepens trust. Moreover, positivity encourages collaboration rather than competition. People want to work with those who inspire them, not drain them. When you bring enthusiasm, optimism, and encouragement to your relationships, you create an environment where ideas flourish, problems are solved collectively, and opportunities expand. You become someone people want to include in their journey, someone whose presence elevates the group rather than someone who hinders or discourages progress. Cultivating positivity is a conscious choice. It's not about ignoring reality or suppressing emotions. It's about intentionally focusing on what can be done, what is possible, and how growth can happen. Small habits like expressing gratitude, celebrating others' successes, listening empathetically, and offering encouragement can have an outsized impact. Over time, this consistent practice shapes not only your own mindset, but also the energy of everyone you interact with. Ultimately, positivity is an investment in your network. It's a form of social capital that compounds quietly but powerfully over time. The people you touch with optimism, hope, and encouragement become ambassadors for your life, your mission, and your vision. In a world often filled with stress, negativity, and fear, positivity stands out as a rare and valuable trait. It is a force that builds relationships, enhances influence, and increases your true net worth far beyond monetary measures. When you choose to carry positivity wherever you go, you are not just improving your own life, you are transforming the lives of everyone you meet. And that is the power of contagious energy. It multiplies, strengthens, and elevates, creating a network of people who inspire each other to become the best versions of themselves. Positivity is not just an attitude, it is a gift, a currency, and a legacy. When we think of wealth, most of us immediately picture money, assets, or material possessions. But the truth is, the richest people in the world are not always those with the largest bank accounts. True wealth lies in the quality of our relationships, the depth of our connections, and the emotional richness we cultivate in life. Emotional wealth, the love, trust, empathy, and understanding we share with others is far more valuable than money because it sustains us through life's challenges and enriches our experiences in ways that material wealth never can. Imagine having a fortune, but no one to share it with, no friend to celebrate your successes, no mentor to guide you in difficult times, and no family or community that supports you. Money can buy comfort, convenience, and even temporary happiness, but it cannot buy trust, loyalty, or genuine human connection. Emotional wealth, on the other hand, fills your life with purpose and meaning. It's the invisible currency that transforms ordinary moments into unforgettable memories. Emotional wealth begins with investing in people, not in the superficial sense of networking for personal gain, but in building authentic relationships grounded in care, respect, and empathy. When you take the time to truly listen to someone, celebrate their victories, comfort them in struggles, and invest in their growth, you are building emotional assets that last a lifetime. Unlike financial assets, these connections grow stronger with time, compounding through trust, shared experiences, and mutual support. One of the most profound aspects of emotional wealth is its ability to sustain you during life's inevitable hardships. Material wealth can be lost, markets can crash, and possessions can be stolen, but emotional wealth is resilient. It's the friends, mentors, and loved ones who will lift you when you fall, guide you when you're lost, and stand beside you when the world seems against you. Emotional wealth becomes your safety net, your sanctuary, and your true measure of security. Moreover, emotional wealth influences every area of life, including personal growth, professional success, and even health. People who are emotionally rich tend to be happier, more resilient, and more capable of handling stress. They inspire others, foster loyalty, and create environments where collaboration and trust flourish. When you cultivate emotional wealth, you are not just improving your own life, you are uplifting everyone around you, creating a network that supports, motivates, and grows collectively. It's also important to remember that emotional wealth is reciprocal. The care, support, and kindness you give to others often return in ways you never expected. A simple act of empathy, encouragement, or gratitude can strengthen bonds and build lifelong loyalty. When you invest in people's hearts, you are planting seeds that bloom over time, creating an environment where trust, respect, and goodwill thrive. Unlike money, which can be spent and depleted, emotional wealth multiplies as it is shared. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to underestimate the value of emotional wealth because it cannot be measured in numbers, balance sheets, or statistics. But if you pay attention, you will see that those who prioritize emotional wealth are the ones who leave lasting legacies. They are the people remembered not for what they owned, but for how they made others feel. Their influence extends far beyond material accomplishments, touching hearts and inspiring lives long after they are gone. In the end, money can provide comfort, but emotional wealth provides fulfillment. It is the true net worth that defines a life well lived. Investing in people, nurturing relationships, and cultivating trust and empathy creates a wealth that money cannot buy, a wealth that sustains, enriches, and transforms not only your life, but also the lives of everyone you touch. Emotional wealth is real wealth, and it is the foundation of a meaningful, successful, and truly abundant life.